Okay, so today's seminar is going to be on telelisting, and that is cold calling. Bottom line is it's a service that we subscribe to and we pay for, and it's actually not very cheap. So if you look at what we need to do to be do not call list compliant, it's thousands of dollars for a CRM and to purchase the area codes. And it's not something that individually you would be able to do on your own because it's just too expensive. To purchase 905 and 416, we're talking, $5,000-$6,000 a year. And the telelisting system you can buy on your own for a subscription on an individual basis, but you'd still have to buy the area codes. So it's good that we can sort of pile ourselves together and buy as a group. And each individual company now has to do that. We used to be able to get Century 21 Canada to buy for the whole of all of Canada and participate in that program. But the CRA, or it's not CRA, it would be we'll say the government, definitely saw that as a loophole and wanted their money. So they were making it each individual or each individual company purchase on their own, which makes it very expensive. But at the same respect, what that does is it gives you, as an agent with us, an advantage. This gives you an advantage because we have a system to be able to cold call and be CRA or do not call.
Probably the CRTC.
CRTC, thank you. Keep saying CRA because taxes are on my head, but CRTC compliant with the do not call list. Thank you, Neil. And to be compliant is obviously extremely important because there's big fines not being compliant, but also it gives you an advantage because not too many people are doing the cold calling anymore. A lot of people are still doing, the door knocking and looking for leads and prospects that way. But the days of cold calling sort of dwindled. And the ones that are doing it are still having success because nobody else is doing it. So here's an opportunity that costs you nothing, just your time, which obviously is money, but it is important that you look at what you spend your time on. And if it's working for you in terms of prospecting, this is a great opportunity to be able to get in touch with more people quicker. And with COVID-19, it is safer, well, almost completely safe, and obviously with door knocking, it's just not happening. So that's the reasoning behind why telelisting is so important right now. I'm currently, as you can see my screen, I'm in your Remarketer program. You can go to your brokerage hub at any time and see all our different value services and programs. Telelisting is in the bottom right-hand side, and you click on telelisting. Each one of you do have a telelisting account. If you've never used it before, you probably do not remember your password, and that's okay. Just hit log in, and I bet you it's going to log me right in, which it did. But for you, it will not. Actually, I was talking to an agent yesterday, so we're logged into hers. Okay, this is what it should look like. So the login, if you do not remember your password, just hit forgot password and then your email address, and it will send you a reset password. Or it will send you your password. So you will be able to get that through forgot password. If by chance you are not getting it or having problems logging on, you can call myself or Stephanie in our Bradford office. Both of us help administer under my password. So I'm able to reset your passwords and send out invites and all that sort of good stuff. So I'm going to log in as if I'm an agent. And when it first comes up with the welcome to telelisting screen, it gives you some information here. And these are good videos. I mean, today's video that we're going to go through is a lot of interaction, and I can show you how the system works. But if you have forgotten that or want a refresher, you can just click play on here, and it is they do a video, I think it's an 8-minute video on how telelisting works. So, and then the managing multiple users is more for myself. Obviously with all our agents and our companies. So you're going to click on that for a tutorial. The other two clickable links here are the access the phone book or scrub a phone number. And we're not really scrubbing phone numbers, we're accessing phone books. And I'm going to show you how this gets you right into a great CRM. It's actually quite a good CRM. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with what a CRM does for you, a CRM is a management system, a client retention management system, that's what it stands for, that allows you to organize your contacts and stay in touch with them. We currently have one, it's in Remarketer, but it's good to have more than one. Not one CRM is going to do everything you want it to do. This one specifically works for just your cold calling, okay? And I'm going to show you how it works. So click on Access to Phonebook. And what comes up is the phone book. There are 3 different ways to search for people. You can either just, for example, type in a phone number. You type in yours. Just give me 905. Everybody knows my phone number. 9 except for me, 960-7355. And there I am. I am in red, which means do not call. I guess I've put myself on that list. And my first name is not on there, but my phone number's in there. I mean, it does do cell phones, which is really good. I think one of the misconceptions is, oh yeah, no, if it doesn't do cell phones, it does do cell phones. So that's good. You can search by name. I'm not going to be in there, but maybe Pam is. Pamela Prescott. Not. Okay, but you can search for first and last names if you're looking for people. Neil, are you on there? Neil. And then we'll go to last name. Botnick. Bach. No, just Brockman. Bachman, that's not you. So you can search by individuals, but that's not typically how we're going to be using the system anyways. But you can field search. You can also search by city, street name if you want to just do a street. Okay. The search, there's a search, there's a type any person's name, phone number, or address. You can do that as well. Actually, the field search, go back to field search. If you just type in Newmarket, for example, you should bring up everybody in Newmarket. So if you just want to search a city, you can type all of Newmarket in there and all the Newmarket will show up. As you can see, there's over 5,000 addresses and names. Now, the key to this one is anything in red, do not call. Anything that's not in red, you can call, okay? To hide the red, just click on the hide do not call listings, and now you'll have a scrub list of 1,939 people in Newmarket that you're allowed to call, okay? And you can start at the beginning and work your way down. Some people want to narrow it down a lot more, and you can do that as well. I'll show you how to do that. If you wanted to do street names, like Elgin Street, for example, in Newmarket, there's 30 people that I can call on Elgin Street in Newmarket. So it does have really good search capabilities within the field search. The next search was the one that was just if you put somebody's name, address, etc. You can look for them, which we're not going to use for cold calling, I don't believe. The map search is one I really like. Again, if I type in Newmarket, that allowed me to go right to Newmarket, and I can look at certain areas. If I want this section of Newmarket, I could just hone in on that section. It'll start giving me the different streets and the people that are on the screen here. To narrow it down even further, you all know how to use a polyagonal tool, which allows you to select areas. Let's say that's the area you're going to cold call, and it'll just give you the people in that area. And again, you can hide the people not to call, and these are the people to call. So some really good search functions, very similar to the MLS system. If you wanted to move that a little bit, you could move it a little bit, right? So it's got some great searchable ability. I think what I'm going to go into now is just individuals. So let's say I've selected this area, and these are the individuals I want to call. You can start at the beginning and click on them. And as you can see below, it will come up with their information. It'll also come up with where their house is. So there's their house, which is kind of nice. You can actually, if you were to view the larger map, see what that house looks like as well by dragging that man around. There's the man down there. So if you're cold calling and you want to actually see if it's a bungalow or what you're looking at other than a tree, you can start looking at the Google map view of the property, which will help you if you are talking to somebody and you want to know a little bit more about their house. You can say, oh, it's the bungalow. Yeah, right next to the park. You're backing onto, and then so you have the maps. You have some information about Mr. or Mrs. B. Brown. So you're going to make the call. Now, within the CRM system, there are call scripts. Your call scripts, I was playing with these yesterday. The call scripts that are in there, I don't necessarily like. Some of them, a lot of them have nothing to do with cold calling. It's like how to deal with overcoming objections and stuff. Have a look at them. But when you bring them up, I have actually entered in my call scripts, and I did this to see whether or not it would also enter it into your system. So if I could share that with you, and it didn't, unfortunately. One that is actually in yours, which is calling around just sold on the phone or at the door, which is actually the two very similar to the two that I added myself. So these are the two scripts I would like to cold call with. And one's called just listed and one's called just sold. So let's take just listed, for example. Here's my script. Now in brackets, I said, you need to find a house on the street that had a property listed. So you go into your MLS, you go into Stratus. One just got listed, let's say at 374 Penn Avenue. Well, in that listing, I also know it's the Wilsons that are selling, because in our MLS, we know we know the person's name. It gives it to us. So I can call and say, hi, my name's Aaron Richardson from Century 21. The Wilsons just listed their house down the street. If that house, wasn't quite right for the buyers that are seeing it, would you consider having them through your home? And it kind of opens up a bit better discussion about whether or not they would be interested in possibly selling without coming right out and saying, would you be interested in selling? So the idea here is to find out that they would, if they're interested in selling, and if they show that interest, try and book an appointment and go and do a home evaluation. I always like the closing with, I'm going to be in the area on Thursday, or would Saturday be better? I can stop by and give you a home evaluation. So these are just different ways to engage with somebody on the street, whether it be a just listed or in the other case of the other script that I have in here, which is the just solds. Again, find out the research of the sold on the street and say, hi, my name is Aaron Richardson from Century 21. The Wilsons family just sold down the street, and they're active buyers currently looking in the neighborhood. Would you be interested in finding out how much they would pay for your house? If you're interested in having a home evaluation, I can come by Thursday, or would the weekend be better? And you're giving them an option of Thursday or the weekend. So it makes it harder for them, obviously, to say no, rather than, well, I'm around Thursday, why don't you come by and give us an idea what our house is worth? So those are two different examples of a script you can use while you're cold calling. There's obviously many different ones out there. Anything from, I've seen some people use statistics where, I'm calling, doing a survey. It's a survey. I'm calling, doing a survey on the house or on your area. I was wondering if you could, spend a few minutes just to give me a rating out of 10 on how you like certain things about your neighborhood. It's for my website. I'm a real estate agent in the area, and I'm ranking the area. So how do you find the schools in the area? 8 out of 10. How do you find the park and the commutability so you can ask them all these questions, and it starts a conversation with them about their area. And then you can get in and at the end just say, would you be interested in knowing what your house is worth? And as long as you can get the foot in the door and get an appointment, that will build the relationship. Obviously, there's a huge difference in percentage of having a conversion on this type of cold calling if you can get to the house and see face to face. Obviously, COVID friendly. So, but this is an excellent way to do it right. I'm going to show you a few more things here. So let's say that you've booked an appointment and you make some notes in here. Great convo meeting on Friday, 8 p.m. So it gives you the ability to make some notes. You can add that note. Now this note has gone with B Brown into your CRM within the system, and I'll show you how to get there in a minute. But having notes in the system is keeping track and keeping things organized. The other thing is you can say there's a status. This is a hot lead. They want me to come into the house. Okay, so I'm the hot lead. They've now been starred, highlighted, and I'm going to show you how that helps in a minute. The other thing you can do on this is if they did not want to be called again, they say, hey, listen, never call me again. Put them on the do not call list. Okay, this will put them on our internal list. So if anyone in our company goes to call that person again, they will know not to call them. Okay, that's a very important part of being CRTC, DNL, do not call list compliant. DNCL, do not call list, yeah, compliance. So, but this one was a hot lead, so we've put them as a hot lead, and I've added a new task, follow up. Maybe do a follow up after your conversation on Friday. So let's do a Saturday, add tasks to follow up on Saturday. And that will send you an email every day letting you know who you need to follow up on the system. You can manage your category list if you've got apartment, homeowner, you can put aggressive customer, or just somebody you don't want to talk to again. You can put, I don't know how you would categorize different things necessarily on there, but you can put it that way. You can categorize and click on to better sort down the road. Now, the question is in here, where does this now go, right? B Brown was the first one you called. It's obviously on the list now. It goes green as a hot lead, okay? But if you ever want to know where your leads are, go back up to the top. There was the 3 search fields, and then the last one is My Leads. If you click on My Leads, these are the people that you have now interacted with, and they're color-coded based on do not call. I wish they have a color chart because I don't see the color charts, but I know green it must be hot, medium, do not call, that sort of thing. And B Brown. So B Brown was in yellow, which means hot lead. And you can always go back and look at your leads and your tasks and your notes. We'll go back to map search, I guess. We're still here. And then you go down to the next person and do the same thing. Give them a call, give them the script, make the note. This one might be do not call, right? Do. And add the note, make the status change as do not call, and now they've been put on the do not call. So now they've been crossed out, do not call, very evident in your leads. I don't know if they came up. What was their name? That was W Street. I think they've been taken completely off. So there you go. They've been put on our do not call. Okay. You can drag the guy in this section as well, rather than the other section. Remember, we were in B Brown before. Now we can actually look on this section as well. So different sources of income from different areas. Each one has its advantages and benefits. Make sure you have your good foundational stuff. You're sending your newsletters, you're making your phone calls. That's the stuff that is the 87% of your business. The rest of it is you're going to start to implement other different ways to get a deal or two from every year. If you're right into cold calling, you can make a couple deals, you can make a lot of deals. It's up to you as how much effort you want to put into it. All right, everyone. Have a great morning, and we'll see you at 3 o'clock at the town hall.